Hey guys, Thomas Brush here. I make indie games for a living. I'm gonna make a bold prediction. 2022 and beyond are the best years to make indie games. It's just gonna get better and better and better. I can't see a time when it's gonna stop. Now this video is actually spurred on by a buddy of mine, Daniel. He did a video about why it's so easy to be a game developer. Before we talk about the 3 reasons why I think this, just remember you can download my free 2D game kit below. It's totally free. It's my treat to you. You can use it however you want for personal games or commercial games. You can make $1 million off this game kit. I really don't care. I used this game kit to make a game for PewDiePie in 14 days. So click below, open it in a new tab, and be sure to download that 2D game kit. All right, so the first reason is because the revenue models to sell your indie games are a lot different than they used to be. A lot of people say it's way too competitive for indie game developers right now, right? So you have to compete with all these thousands and thousands of games. There's just too many games. And when you sell a game for $5 and you only sell 2,000 copies, you've only made 10 grand, and then you got to pay platform fees. Well, the truth is that the way to make money is a little bit different now. It's basically the Netflix of gaming. Every platform is becoming the Netflix of gaming. Xbox Game Pass, PlayStation Now, EA Play, Nintendo Switch Online, Uplay, Humble Choice, Apple Arcade. I actually partnered with Apple Arcade for Neversong, which is my second commercial release. Google Play Pass, Amazon Prime Gaming. I didn't know that was a thing. Why didn't I know that? So there's a ton of services here. So what does this mean? A lot of you probably think that just means they're going to sell my game for free and I'm going to make no money. No, that's not how it works. The way that it works, and I know this because I partnered with Apple Arcade, the way this works is they pay developers a pretty good amount of money to put your game on their service and give it away for free to their subscribers, right? Well, it's not really free, but you get the point. So Xbox or Sony, they're gonna give you a paycheck, a pretty good paycheck, just pop it in your account and say, hey, we're gonna give away your game for free to our audience. The only caveat to think about here is, well, think about your potential for revenue and think about, am I gonna lose money in the long run if I partner with, like, let's say Humble Choice? Let's say Humble is willing to pay you 30 grand for your indie game. Well, they're gonna give away a lot of Steam keys. Are you sure you wanna do that for just 30 grand? Or let's say that, Epic Games, that's another one. Let's say Epic Games says, hey, for a month we want your game to be free on our service. We'll pay you 60 grand. That might be a great opportunity, especially if you're just starting out, because, well, you're making 60 grand. But also, it's only for a month, right? So maybe they'll give away, 1 million copies of your game for Epic Games users. Well, you could still access other platforms and their markets as well after the sale is up. So it's just something to consider. The second reason why is because of NFTs. Now, I know this might be annoying to a lot of you because you've heard about NFTs for a long time and it's a trendy thing to talk about, but I do think that it's the future. So for those of you who don't know though, NFTs are non-fungible tokens. These tokens are linked to blockchain technology. This is decentralized technology and basically it allows for a token, a digital asset, to not be replicated past the intended amount. So an example of this in your indie game could be, let's say you're making a fantasy adventure game. You could sell 20 NFT versions of a very specific sword, a super powerful sword, but there's only 20 versions. And you can sell these for $100 a pop or $1,000 a pop. Depending on the size and scale of your game's popularity, you can sell those NFTs for a very premium price. So you could sell it for $1,000 plus, easy. So that's one NFT is actual items in game. And then there's also the ability to sell NFT versions of your game. And this is already happening in the AAA market. You could say 200 copies of your game and they're selling for $300 a pop. You could sell this version of your game. Maybe it's a different character that you can play as. Maybe it's playing the game in reverse, or maybe the game has commentary or secret levels, secret characters. That's an NFT version of your game. It's basically like a DLC, but it's a limited amount. And again, it's linked to blockchain technology, so it can't be cheated. That's what makes it so valuable. You cannot give away more than your intended amount. So that's a great way to make money. And in fact, I think this is one of the primary ways that indie game developers are gonna make money. Instead of selling individual copies of their game for $5, they sell NFT versions of their games and they sell them at premium prices. Not only can you make money the moment you decide to sell an NFT, But with Unity, maybe you could make money with the transaction that occurs from NFT owner to NFT owner. So let's say somebody buys a sword for $200, you get the money, but then they sell it for $10,000, depending on how popular your game is. Let's say they sell it for 10 grand. You could make money on the transaction fee. Now, I'm not saying that you need to be an opportunistic game developer all the time. You don't have to make money this way. I'm just saying this is the future, and we're probably going to see this happening. And in fact, it already is. I'm looking at it right now. Matic and Unity and the Arcane network, which is a blockchain network, they've partnered up to create a Unity plugin that allows game developers to create NFTs. So the NFT market is already integrating itself within Unity. So it's going to be the future. How you want to capitalize on that is really up to you. And this is why I'm a huge proponent of building audiences. Not only can an audience buy your game for $5 once it's out, but they can also buy NFTs for premium prices. And that's totally okay. It's okay to sell an NFT to your audience because there's probably someone in that audience who really wants an NFT from you, and that's totally fine. So be willing to not only build your game, but also build up your audience slowly. And as that audience grows, you can market to that audience for any game you create in the future. The third reason is another annoying, trendy topic, but we're going to talk about it, and that is the metaverse. The metaverse is going to make it very profitable to be an indie game developer, but more importantly, I guess an indie entrepreneur. Somebody that sells games, right, but also sells assets and tools and NFTs and participates in the metaverse as a digital creator. For those of you who don't know, let's Google search metaverse and take a look at what Wikipedia says. Wikipedia says the metaverse is a hypothesized iteration of the internet, supporting persistent online 3D virtual environments through conventional personal computing, as well as virtual and augmented reality headsets. I read that and I leave a comment below. Let's talk about this. I don't think that's the metaverse. I think that the augmented reality and the virtual reality side of the metaverse has been hyped too much to try and get a point across to sort of lower information consumers. I think ultimately the metaverse is a digital economy, and it's a digital world where you get to flex your digital assets and participate in this digital economy with other people. It's different than what we've got currently. I mean, we're definitely growing in that direction already, but it's different than Web 2.0 because Web 2.0, you couldn't really take ownership of the big tech platforms. Well, now with the metaverse, because of blockchain technology and the ability to purchase non-fungible digital assets, we can own portions of these digital economies. So as an indie game developer, you are taking one step, even if you're just dipping your toes, you're taking one step into being an architect of digital assets within the metaverse. The future generations, including Gen Z and plenty of millennials, that's going to be the world they inhabit, the metaverse. And again, it's not just a virtual world. It could be just an app on your phone. It could be Instagram. And Instagram, for example, you can flex your 3D NFTs and rotate and look at them in your profile picture or as a story or a post. Flexing your NFTs is definitely going to be the future, and Gen Z is going to embrace this faster than any generation, obviously, because they're already participating in worlds like this. Flexing on TikTok, flexing on social media, it's way more valuable than flexing in real life, so it's just going to expand into, multiple dimensions, into the third dimension and maybe beyond, right? So my whole point here is that as an indie game developer, the metaverse is suddenly this, Pandora's box, just exploding open with a ton of opportunity. So right now, you might want to make an indie game, a 2D platformer. That might not make a lot of money right now, but because you now learned how to do it, you can now step into the metaverse as kind of a mini god, creating these worlds and owning those worlds and then selling them to an audience. It's honestly pretty sinister. Like, I don't love it. I'm not a huge fan of the metaverse. I'm just telling you what's going to happen. And if you want to participate in it, go for it. My recommendation and what I'm going to try and do is try and participate in it in a ethical way, because there's ways that it can be not ethical. Every new technology can be problematic. and it's up to the people who want to participate in that technology to do it ethically. So be one of the people who joins the metaverse economy, and as a creator, do it right, do it ethically. And I don't know what that means. See, that's the thing, is all these things that I'm talking about are so abstract, and it's really hard to know what an ethical product is in the metaverse until you start to do it. And so we just need to take a look. But you guys, if you want to take a look at the metaverse, just look at Decentraland, to look at Sandbox, obviously look at what Facebook is doing, and just start to study it. The thing is it doesn't really make sense yet. There's just a lot that's confusing. But the moment it's here and we're all in it and we're all participating in it, it's gonna make sense. And we'll look back and say, how did we not know this was going to happen? There's a gold rush, but there's also people who make tools for the gold rush. So consider being the person to make tools for the gold rush, and the gold rush would be the metaverse. Anyway, guys, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment below. There's plenty of reasons to leave spicy comments. I'm happy to read them, and maybe we can talk about it and discuss it in the comments.